Well, I don't think surprised is the word I'd use, but I will say this. A U.S. district judge who heard this case just moments ago even took note, calling some aspects of Frank Russo's plea agreement unusual, and I'm going to get to that in just a second. But first, the headline here is we watch former Auditor Russo arrive at the U.S. federal courthouse around 3 o'clock this afternoon. He arrived here in this vehicle with his attorney, Roger Sonnenberg. He appeared relaxed. He's smiling there. Had very little to say, however. But when he went inside, here's the headline. The man who was a political fixture in this county for more than 2 decades stood before a U.S. federal judge and admitted that he knowingly and willfully ripped off taxpayers. He pled guilty to 21 counts of conspiracy to commit bribery, mail fraud, as well as tax evasion. Now, all of those charges are going to bring him 21 years, 8 months in a federal prison, and part of the plea agreement called for a federal prison near Cleveland. And of course, we're going to research and see where that is. I believe there is a federal prison facility in the Youngstown area. But now let's get to this plea agreement that the federal judge called unusual. Unusual in this sense. There are a number of members of Frank Russo's immediate family that were included in that, and the government agreed not to bring any criminal charges against any of those individuals. Also included in that agreement is no criminal charges against Frank Russo's companion, who he has a condominium with here in the Bracknell area. So there are some protections that were built into this that he insisted on. Something else which was unusual, as pointed out by the court, was that instead of reporting to prison in the next few months, Mr. Russo has been allowed to extend his freedom, if you will, until next May, when he will report to a federal prison. So he has a considerable period of time between now and then. Now, he also will be formally sentenced in December. Finally, he is going to have to pay restitution. That total figure is still up in the air, but a huge chunk of his state retirement pension is going to come out of that, as well as personal funds. And we're going to have more on this story tonight at 6 o'clock.